So this is a picture of Nell Morton. She was a church activist for racial justice, a teacher of Christian educators, and later in her life, one of the leading influences in the women's spirituality movement in the 1970s. And she was hired by my alma mater, Drew Theological School, in 1956 to teach Christian education, because that's the only department that women were allowed to be hired in the theological school at the time. But I do want you to hear that once more. In 1956, she was a professor of theological education, and for years she was the only female professor at Drew. Well, after her retirement in 1971, she had time to do more study and scholarship and writing, and she wrote a book called The Journey is Home. And in it, she coined a phrase that she became kind of famous for. She wrote about hearing into speech. See, in her book, she wrote about these groups of women who would get together, they would come together, and they would share each other's lives and share their stories. And by listening with one's whole body and soul, they would make a kind of sacred space, and they would hear each other into speech. And Morton describes it this way because deep listening has the power to elicit our stories.